Good evening. So, it's been a little bit of a while since I've done one of these, about 2 minutes, but before that, a fair few years. So, it's good to see you all tuning back in. I've sorted the microphone issues out. This should be a little bit cleaner. But yes, so tonight I'm going to be showing you a little known no-code digital storytelling application called RichCast. It's something that I've been working on for the last couple of years. It's a really good application. I've been meaning to do this for such a long time, but I'm going to play some of the projects just as a series of episodes over the coming weeks. You can see what they're about, and we'll even have a go at setting them up and making a similar example, so you can see just how easy it is and it's designed to be and accessible. So without further ado, let's play some Slopes Game Show. It's one of my favourite projects, and you'll see why shortly.
Welcome to Slopes Game Show, the video game quiz show.
It's a nice quiz about retro games, so buckle up, let's see if we can get them all.
Let's start off by introducing ourselves. My name's DJ Slope from the YouTube channel Slopes Game Room, where we chat about all of that retro gaming goodness. You know, the good old days of Sega versus Nintendo. What about you guys? Who's your favourite company? Is it Sega or Nintendo?
Sega. Always Sega.
Sega. My personal favourite too, that iconic blue logo, which was the reason for Sonic the Hedgehog's iconic colour too, might I add. You see, back in the late 80s and early 90s, Sega decided to take on Nintendo's family-friendly appeal by creating a character who was as cool and radical as possible. They did this by basing the character on former US President Bill Clinton and Santa Claus, and which famous pop act? Now, do you want a clue? Do you know the answer, or do you give up?
It's Michael Jackson.
That's right. The answer is Michael Jackson. Sega had already turned the movie Moonwalker into a few different games, but they also used the buckle-heavy look of Jacko's Bad album for Sonic's iconic red
I actually had it on my Mega Drive. I spent so many hours on the game.
So, let's keep it with one of the most classic video game characters of all time, shall we? Mario and Sonic. In one of their first ever appearances together, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. This game was released back in 2007. The Sega-created game was an official Olympic video game, so with that in mind, can you name the real-world location where these Olympic Games were based in this game? Remember, it came out in 2007. So, did you want a clue? Do you want to give up, or do you know the answer?
I think that was Beijing. Beijing.
That's right. It was the 2008 Beijing Olympics. The fusing of these two properties proved to be an instant success, selling over 10 million units, which of course started an entirely new franchise of its own. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games was followed up in 2009 to promote which one?
Vancouver.
That's right, it was Vancouver. A game that took the duo into the world of the Olympic Winter Games. This was again followed up in 2011 to promote which real-world location? Shout it out if you know.
London.
Excellent. Yes, it was the 2012 London Olympics. The only official Olympic Games game from an event whatsoever, I might add. The next entry in the series dropped in 2013 to promote
might be a little bit.
Olympic Games.
Sochi.
Yes, well done.
Yeah.
It was the 2014
maybe a little bit of inside knowledge
Sochi or Russian
these are quite tough
Olympic
questions,
Games.
really.
The first in the series to jump ship from the Wii and the first in the series to go HD on the Wii U. As expected, after a couple more years, Mario and Sonic came back again in 2016, this time to promote Which real-world event?
Rio.
Correct, the 2016 Rio Olympic Games. Which, by the way, was actually the first time the series made its way into the arcades as well as home consoles. Just look at how much fun these guys are having. And of course this brings us up to the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games 2019 edition, which again was based in which real-world location?
I know this one too. Tokyo.
Yes, you are correct. It was the Tokyo Olympic Games. Promoting an event that technically actually never happened in the year 2020, that is. However, on top of promoting this one, the game also features a retro mode too, which turns everything 2D, as it brilliantly sets itself in the 1964 Tokyo Olympics at the exact same time. In fact, let's move away completely from Sega and Nintendo and move into the world of Sony. But before going ahead, what's your favourite PlayStation console? Is it the PlayStation 1, the PlayStation 2, the PlayStation 3, the PlayStation 4,
the PSX.
or the PlayStation 5?
The PlayStation 1.
Ah, the PlayStation 1, the first console created by the Walkman manufacturers themselves, Sony. Released in December of 1994, back when their controllers looked like this. But do you know what year the dual analog, which introduced the now standard 2 analog sticks, was released? If you're not sure, you could always ask for a clue.
Ooh. Might actually need a clue on this.
Okay, so here's a clue for you. It came out before the DualShock, not to be confused with the dual analog. The DualShock was Sony's first rumble controller. You've got one last chance.
1997?
Yes, of course. It was 1997.
Right. Cool.
The same year, Sony fans got hold of Crash Bandicoot 2, Tekken 3, Final Fantasy 7, the original Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, and the first Gran Turismo. If you were a Sony fan back then, it was a great year to be alive, especially if you had this controller. And there you have it. You are at least 3% more knowledgeable when it comes to the world of Sony PlayStation. Don't worry, Xbox fans, we have a whole section for you coming up. But for right now, let's mix it up with a few visual-based questions. Don't you agree? It's simple enough. You choose a number between 1 and 10, and then I show you some simple gameplay footage obstructed by some tiles. The quicker you shout out the name of the game, the more impressive it's gonna be. So, what's it gonna be? Pick a number between 1 and 10.
3. Crazy Taxi.
Well, the answer is, of course, Crazy Taxi, the fantastic arcade game that found its way onto the Dreamcast originally, before spawning several ports and sequels onto pretty much every major console and phone, making it rightfully iconic, just as long as the offspring is on that version that you're playing. Seriously, that band must be on the version you're playing. Did you fancy another go? Just shout out a number between 1 and 10. Obviously, not shouting out the number you've just done. Otherwise, just say, move on.
Let's move on.
Okay, great stuff. We've covered Sega, we've covered Nintendo, we've covered Sony, so I think it's only fair that we give Xbox its run. Now, if you're anything like me, Xbox may seem like the furthest thing away from anything retro. However, you couldn't be further from the truth. With 4 mainline consoles under its belt, it is now officially been creating consoles longer than Sega ever did, which is such a painful truth that we all have to live with. So, With that in mind, what's your favourite? Is it the original Xbox from 2012, the Xbox 360 from 2005, the annoyingly named Xbox One from 2013, or the Xbox Series X or Xbox Series S from 2020? God, I hate the naming of these systems.
The original Xbox. The OG
Fantastic choice.
Xbox.
Now for this round, we are going to do things a little bit differently. Just like a popular TV show or not, no ripping off here, we're going to be asking you 3 sets of questions based on the console that you've just chosen. All you've got to do is answer by saying A, B, C or D out of the possible answers given to you. Let's go. So the original Xbox, the classic X logo that warps onto the screen when you boot it up and sits centered on the oversized controllers too. My question to you is, why was it green? Was it because A, research shows that green would make more PC gamers convert to console? B, green is the closest colour associated with aliens. C, the designer was sitting in a grass field when inspiration hit. Or D, it's the only colour pen he had left on his desk.
It's D. D.
Of course, that's the correct answer. Well done.
Nice.
Yep, D was the correct answer here. Horace Luke was the chap in charge of creating the now legendary logo, and he did that very thing. However, because he had these exceptionally nice painted tip markers, his co-workers would always steal them, leaving just the green colour left on his desk. True story. You're doing well. Let's see if you can get all 3 questions right for this particular console and move on
Can't remember
to
the name of
round
the documentary,
2.
but that's where.
So, for your second question regarding that original Xbox, I wanted to chat to you about the controller. Oh yes, the Duke, the big one, the one that was released with the console back in 2001, a controller that was vastly bigger than what was going on the competition systems, and as a result, ended up getting a redesign to the controller S in what year? And by the way, I'm after the American date here, guys. The European date came in 1 year later. So, with that in mind, what year was it? A, 2001, B, 2002, C, 2003, or D, 2004?
It was B.
Do you mind repeating that again for me, please, mate? I didn't quite hear that.
2002.
Of course, that's the correct answer. Well done. 2002 was indeed the answer. As stated, this controller was released alongside the Japan launch of the system. However, due to the negative backlash that Microsoft got for the Duke, it was also released on Western shores later that same year. Congrats on making it this far. That's 2 questions down out of 3 for this particular console. Let's see if you can get that last one right. Finally, the third and final question of the original Xbox round. If you get this one right, you get them all right. Now, for the final question, we're going to be chatting about Halo, the original Halo for the original Xbox. However, that isn't what the game was called during development. In fact, it had many names. Which one of the following was not a working title for Halo? Was it A, Space Gun, B, Blam, C, Star Shield, or D, Monkey Nuts? Again, which one wasn't a code name for the original Halo?
A, Space Gun.
Of course, that's the correct answer. Well done. Space Gun was in fact the only name that this game did not go under when in development. It started off as Monkey Nuts, but got changed due to a developer not wanting to tell his mum that he was working on a game called Monkey Nuts. That then got changed to Blam due to the sound of constant skidding and crashing of cars outside the developer's office. And finally it got changed to Star Shield and Hard Vacuum before eventually landing on Halo. Well done, well done! You've just managed to answer all 3 questions for this particular console correctly. Next time you play through, why not choose a different console? Congratulations, you've just made it to the end of Slope's game show, the end of the quiz, guys. Well done. However, you are going to have to go through this quiz at least 4 times and answer all of the questions correctly to see everything that the quiz has to offer. So, yeah, in a minute you can go through it again, and when you do go through it again, if you do see Dizzy, make sure to shout out the year 1987, which was, of course, the year that he first arrived in our homes in the UK. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the quiz. I hope you go through it again. And if you want to see more retro game related stuff, make sure to check me out on YouTube by searching for Slope's Game Room. Thank you so much for checking out my game show. And until next time, guys, this is DJ Slope signing out. And hopefully I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Well, that was really fun and really informative. I hope you all had fun just getting a preview of that. I'm going to show you a little example now of how to make something similar just in the editor. It really is that simple. It might have looked quite complicated with all the videos and it's responding to choices, but when you actually see how it works behind the scenes, I think you'll all be quite impressed. So we're going to call this our retro game quiz. We should probably put some little spaces in there. Okay. Now, what was behind the scenes there? So we're not going to be able to record videos here while I'm just on a live stream. But what we can do is very quickly create an actor. So we want our announcer. And this will be our quiz announcer. And we can pick a name. Who sounds good? The top of my head. Announcer. We'll go with Aria.
Good day. You can call me Aria. I am a biologist in Nevada.
Very simply, we can just throw a speak tile down.
The speak tile is a unique...
And each time you put one of these down, you will get a little tutorial if you've not opened them before. So we can say, welcome to our retro video game quiz. Okay. Anyone got a question they'd like to ask? Or you'd like to change it to Will? Okay. So even though we've done that and...
Welcome to our retro video game quiz.
We can very quickly change that to use Will instead. Now, where is he in the list? There he is.
Hello, my name is Will. I used to serve in the military.
It's got a strong voice there. That's we can fire that up and just check it.
Welcome to our retro video game quiz.
Like it? Cool. Okay. So, question 1. And this is going to be really simple and really quick. So, need to think of a question. So, what year did the original Sonic the Hedgehog release on Sega Mega Drive? Although for our North American players, this would be the Genesis console.
What year did the original Sonic the Hedgehog release on Sega Mega Drive / Genesis?
We'll put a little question mark there. Sega. Didn't sound too good, but and we can go with
Choice tiles.
1989. Whoops. 1989. So this just means it's already linked to a keyword. Retro's classed as 15 years. Wow, God, that makes me feel old. But you forget, like, this is what, 33 years ago now? Jeez. That does make you feel old. 1990. 1991. Oh, 1999. 1991 and 1992. And we just draw these little arrows here. So we start, we go to here, and we can have, I believe it was 1990. So I'm going to throw that down, and then someone shout out in the chat if I've got that wrong. 1991? Blimey. I'm going to have to hand back my issue 1 of Sonic the Comic here at this rate. And we can even... Have we got a little chime that we can play? I didn't prepare for this question. Must be a little chime that we can do. Is there a chime? Click. We got a good click. Click 6. Right, let's go with that. Okay, cool. We'll block wait that, so it has to wait for it to play, and then we find out. And then if you get it wrong, well, we're just going at speed here, but you are right, we should put these on the SFX channel, on the sound effects channel. If we're doing this properly, alright, and then we can just link that to there. We'll probably turn this one down a bit because it is quite loud. A little bit louder. There we go. Okay, and we can just copy and paste that. Although, whoa, slow down a bit. We've put the correct sound on the wrong tile there. Alright, let's go along. And this is it. We've just made a retro video game quiz. So if we hit this, we can actually test it.
Welcome to our retro video game quiz. Question 1. What year did the original Sonic the Hedgehog release on Sega Mega Drive/Genesis?
1991.
Sorry, can you say that again more clearly?
1991.
Pardon? Can
Don't
you
think this
repeat
is
that?
going to work because it's looking for the actual numbers. And we didn't type those in. But we can select the
Correct.
the button. There we go. So, good suggestion. Thank you there, Zorok. We'll add these in. So, it covers all bases. Excellent. And we could try that again. And we can actually just play from a specific tile.
What year did the original Sonic the Hedgehog release on Sega Mega Drive/Genesis?
1991.
Correct.
Cool. And it's as simple as that to build a video game quiz. That was just one question, but you could build a whole series. You can add in visuals. We'll do that in another video. But this is just an intention to show that what we've just played is really simple to create in RichCast. So, yeah, I hope you've all enjoyed this very short stream. They're just going to be short bite-sized things in a series over the next couple of weeks. And I'll try and pick a project, and then we'll quickly build up a feature that's a key part of that. So in this, it was just build a question, and you can see what a quiz is about. If we quit the editor, we can actually play it in the player. It's all cloud-based, so once your work's saved, it's always there, it's always safe. And if you can get on a computer, most PCs will be able to run this application, so you'll find it very easy and accessible. We can set cover images and stuff for another time. For now, this was just
Welcome
building a
to our
simple
retro
quiz.
video game quiz.
Thank you.
Question
Yes,
1.
it is super easy.
What year did the original Sonic the Hedgehog release on Sega Mega Drive/Genesis?
We hope it is anyway. 1991.
Correct.
Excellent. That was quite easy, but even though I got it wrong initially, but I'll take that. Yes, that is a great question. We'll just swap to this. Yes, it is on phones. I don't know why it's not showing up in the chat. There's supposed to be a Twitch chat there. But you can get this not just on Microsoft UWP Windows, but also on Apple Mac, Apple iOS, and Android. If you just go on the Play Store or the App Store, type in RichCast, you'll be able to download and play all of these fantastic projects that we've got here. And they're not just these projects, but also a whole load of community projects as well. There's new stuff being added all the time. I can recommend all of these. They're really good. So, yeah. Please go, give it a go, and create something of your own. That is a great advice there, Wizard Mind Bomb. Excellent shout. Hope that made it look really easy, and you can make some stuff. Here's something I made before. I can't quite remember what was in there, so I'm not going to load it up. But yeah, there's all these new ones as well that I've not had a chance to play yet. But we'll play those on another day, on another stream. So hope you've enjoyed this very brief look at RichCast, and we'll take some further deep dives in the coming days. I've been your host, Rinast, and like, follow, subscribe, tell your friends, and I'll see you again in another video. Good night.